TVZ, that's right. The classic StarCraft matchup, Terrans versus Zergs. The Protoss just kind of show up every once in a while and they're like, hey, we're here to kill a planet, is that okay? And then people are like, well, I don't know, and the Protoss are like, okay, and then they leave. So it's like Terran versus Zerg, that's the classic StarCraft matchup.
And there you have it, the 10-second version of StarCraft lore.
That's right, there's the quick and dirty version for those of you who may not play the first game. Yeah.
All right, so here we go here. It looks like Alive is asking about the map, so we're going to move into things here in just a second. He was asking how many bases there are. There are indeed only 4. So here we have it. So it looks like our players are ready to go, and we're going to begin game number 2 here in just a second.
Yep. Soon. There's the countdown.
Hooray.
I'm ready.
The anticipation screen is about to load.
I know.
Suspense screen, if you will.
Suspense.
I love it.
More suspense than all the episodes of Lost put together. Who's gonna win?
Maybe
this
that
is
was the
TSL
number code
Live.
that Alive was typing out there for a while.
Could be. Yeah, what are those numbers? I don't even know what the numbers are anymore.
Here we go. Down at the about 5:30, it looks like. We'll just call it the 6 o'clock position. That is TSL Live. He was spawning as our Purple Terran player. His opponent here at the 2 o'clock position. That is Millennium Stephano, who has a little bit of a hole to dig himself out of.
Yeah, I mean, he's down 1 game. We'll have to see how well he does here on Antigua Shipyards. Such a manner guy, too. He's been, like, super nice in the lobbies and things like that.
Yeah, he really has been.
Seems like a stand-up guy.
And you mentioned a very, very fast gold build here, so we'll see if he wants to go after that. Oh.
Well, that'll prevent anything from being fast, really, at this point.
Yes, that's true.
Uh-oh. All right.
We'll play the lag waiting game. There we have it.
Speaking of suspense.
Yes. So it looks like Stephano may want to pause here for a second to sort out the lag, and we'll move back into things here in just a second nonetheless.
So this thing, this esports thing, there's this vehicle that drives it.
Yes.
Is it?
I believe it's technology?
No, it's actually buses. That's how the players get from event to event. And sometimes when the buses break down, the players are late to the event. But did you think I was going to talk about the lag in the game or something?
Yeah, I thought so.
I'm sorry I misled you there.
Blew my expectations out of the water.
Sorry about that.
Although Slayers arriving in style in a limo.
Yeah, I was with those guys. That was fun, man.
Oh,
we took a limo. It was me and the Slayers players, and Alive was with us, and Thorzane was with us as well.
I took a bus with a local of Philly who was like yelling at traffic the entire way. So
well. As long as you got here. You're here now, so that's all good. But yeah, that was my first limo ride ever. Alive said it was his first, and Thorzane was like, I've been in a limo before, so. Thorzane, he's like, you know.
Quiet, understated, but that man has experienced a lot.
Yep. Well, it's kind of funny. I traveled with the crew from Korea. Mr. Che was with us as well. You guys know Mr. Che from Gom TV, right? Of course. He's one of the Korean casters. He's always hanging out at the events. But we get to Detroit where we're going to transfer, and we're waiting for our plane. All of a sudden, we turn around, and there's Thorzane. He happens to be on the same plane. So, yeah, the Slayers players were very happy to see him. Of course, Thorzane lived there for a while he was in Korea.
Yeah, and let's just say his training has really paid off. I mean, the DreamHack Invitational just recently finished second to Dongre-gu.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking loss, 3-2, actually. It was a $15,000 winner-take-all. And much as I love Dongre-gu, I did find myself rooting for Thorzane. And he's going to come up later. Let's see, I believe he's Pool C or D?
He's
Pool C. He'll be tomorrow.
The Spoon Terran. We'll have to see if he can live up to his expectations. I don't know if that's what the players in Korea started calling Thorzane the Spoon Terran. If those of you might not be familiar with that. Basically, they say that his style, especially in Terran versus Zerg, is like watching someone murder someone else with a spoon. They kill him, but it takes a long time. So he's the Spoon Terran, and it's started to kind of catch on. So we'll see him later on. Yep, it looks like both players are saying go go. So we're gonna move back into the game.
They're saying go like 4,000 times, so it will go eventually.
Alive.
All right, and here it is, the countdown. We're back. Maybe 0, -1.
Yep.
There it is. All right.
Alive being so nice with that. We're up and running again. All right, that is awesome. I clapped once.
I like it. Just single.
I saw you clapping, so I was like, if people clap, sometimes other people start clapping. Look at that. See, it happens right there. You're just so influential.
Yeah, I feel like that cool guy at the baseball game that starts the wave.
Oh yeah, well, we could do. If we did that, it wouldn't continue because the players can't see us. We go like this, and I don't know who's sitting over there. I think it's Alive.
Yeah.
He won't see us.
Yeah. If you would do it, that would be pretty baller.
Yeah,
anyway,
could be.
Here we go. So back into the game now, and we'll see what players are gonna go with. Yeah, you guys have just started the wave. I love it. Anyway,
awesome.
Yeah, so we have like 4 guys doing the wave out in like the 10th
start.
row or something like that. It's awesome.
We've got time. This is just the start of IPL 3. We've got a lot of days, a lot of games to go yet.
Of course. So here we have it. It looks like Stephano is going to go ahead and expand first. He's already got a drone running back and forth over in the top right-hand corner, so quick hatch out of him.
Usually that fast gold is a third base. They usually don't take it for the natural. I've seen it happen once or twice, but that is such a huge risk to take that a lot of people choose not to do that.
And 15 CC out of TSL Alive. So
interesting.
very fast. Oh, a little bit of lag.
All right, we're okay.
Yep, we're good.
Yep.
So a little bit of lag there, but hopefully things are going to clear up as we go along. Live, you don't worry.
It's not your fault, Alive. It's fine.
All right, and we're going to take another quick little pause.
All right.
So
there's this other vehicle
of
esports.
I'm assuming it's not technology.
It's called a plane. I was in it for a long time yesterday, man.
Yes, you were.
It was okay, though. I mean, the flight was pretty good. Actually, the seats I was in were actually quite comfortable.
So let's see here. It is, I'm not actually sure what time it is at the moment.
In Korea,
it would be about...
It would be... Let's see. It would be about 3 a.m. or something like 2 or 3 a.m. in Korea right now. Don't worry, I'm awake. It's fine.
Hooray!
I had some coffee.
Huzzah!
Like I said, I made it through our first TVT, so that's good.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
It's a pretty quick one, though. A live manhandling box.
A little bit, yeah. But I'm feeling actually fine. I think I've kind of figured out how to handle the jet lag thing.
Oh, yes.
I've been able to kind of time it out. Well, basically, what you do, and this may not work for everyone, is I just actually make myself sleep at normal hours. Like, I get a normal night of sleep the night before. I don't really try to sleep on the plane, because that kind of messes you up, because when you're flying to the U.S., the sun, like, it becomes night and day very quickly.
Right.
You know? And so I just ignore it all.
Well, you actually pass through like an entire day and a half when you're coming back.
Yeah, it's weird because when I took off from Korea, or from Japan actually, to fly across the ocean, it was like, I think like 3 p.m. or so. And then you saw the sun set, and then like 6 hours later the sun rises again, and you're like, well, that was weird, but it was okay.
And we are back in the game. So that third vehicle of esports.
That's right, it's working.
Yes.
Chugging along. We've cracked the whip on the hamsters. They're running a little bit faster now.
And Alive is actually going to put down gas right after racks this time. So not opening with any sort of a, no gas FE into 4 racks or something like that behind bunkers. No, he is just going to go right in the gas. Stephano, on the other hand, it looks like he has pool and gas coming up of himself. So we'll see some speedlings here in a bit.
Yep. Want to get the speedlings for that map controls we talked about earlier. Very important. An Alive SCV moving across the map there. And because this is a TSL Alive SCV, he's already got like blood dripping from his drill and things like that, I think.
And looks like he is a little upset at the network at the moment, but that's okay. We'll figure out a way. It's just the handicap being provided because he is so go-so at the moment.
That's right.
Yes. Nonetheless, Alive is going to scout his opponent's position very quickly. Don't believe that... Okay, no, Stephano actually did find his opponent earlier. SCV. Poor SCV.
He's not going to get to do much scouting now. The Overlord just floats above and laughs. It's like,
We have a supply depot coming at the front of the natural now for TSL Live, so it looks like that's where he's going to build his wall at. No real surprise there. And going right into a factory after racks, but of course he doesn't have up that many units.
Yeah.
In fact, looks like that's just Marine number 1 heading out to the front.
Well, I'm curious to see how Alive is going to follow this up. I mean, Hellions would be okay. It'd be a very natural progression, again, to get that map control. Where you're going to hear the words map control like a million times this weekend because it's important, so we talk about it a lot. Otherwise, we could see him go right into something like Marine tank, just make a lot of Marines, put the tech lab down right away on the factory. But if we go back to Alive's base, it looks like he's got the reactor on the barracks, so I think we're going to see Hellions again.
Oh, I imagine so. We're going to see a tech switch here in just a second, although that factory is going to finish quite a bit before that reactor does, so it'll sit there for a little while.
Another SCV going out across the map for Alive. This is good. I mean, a mark of a really good player is one that keeps sending out SCVs and things like that across the map to do all that scouting.
He's not taking a lot of pressure yet. He knows that he's got a few SCVs, I don't want to say to give necessarily, but he can use that 50 resources because he had the command center down so quickly. Throwing down the bunker, now completing the wall with his supply depots on either side, and he's going to be in a very, very defensive position. And actually, that factory hasn't switched yet. There we go. Now we're going to see some reactor Hellions.
Yep, we will indeed. The buildings just landed right there. Terran flying buildings have always been something that seemed really cool to me. I wish I could just like fly my house around places. I'd like fly the GOM house here. It'd be cool. Wolf and Mole Trap would be like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it. You can like take a plane back. I'm taking the GOM house to America to cast this. You guys can."
As long as I don't have to go on the scouting mission. That always sucks if you're a factory pilot. It's like, now just go to the other base.
Yeah.
What?
Like TVP or something when the factory driver's flying around, he's like, tell my grandkids I was a hero, and the stalkers are like shooting the factory down.
Well, there's a great Reddit thread that was like, we found out that the most efficient and cost-effective way to scout the opponent's base is to put rockets on our factory.
Yeah, it's like the Terran commander comes up to the guy who runs the factory, like the foreman or something. He's like, all right, you've been doing a good job here. You've been making siege tanks and Hellions really well. But what I want you to do now is actually lift off the building that you're in and fly it over the enemy base. And the factory guy's like, what, really? I mean, because you need more siege tanks. It's like, oh no, we built another factory for that. It's okay. You take yours and fly it over the enemy base.
Seems like a totally
all
inefficient
right.
use of resources.
Yeah, don't worry, it's fine.
And Stephano did ward away a few Hellions that were sitting around there. I don't know if Alive got a scout on the third. Let's actually take a look here.
It's a little poke. No fast scope for
not.
Stephano either, so he just wants to play it out normal style.
Yeah, certainly there are 4 Hellions in the mix now, and looks like he actually saves his Hellion at the last second.
Yeah.
Very nice job, even roasting a few Zerglings in the process.
Well, that's enough Hellions where you need to be careful as a Zerg player. You don't want to try chasing down the Hellions. You will just lose all your Zerglings unless you get a really good kind of surprise situation.
30 more coming up for Stephano at the moment.
That is a lot of Zerglings being made right now.
Yeah, it really is. Because if Alive doesn't even lose these Hellions, or he roasts a few Zerglings, something like that, even if he just pulls back to his base and plays defensively, he's already gained himself a very nice economic advantage there because of the overcommitment to Lings.
Well, here's the thing that Stephano knows is that he's like, all right, you made that many Hellions. I saw a fifth Hellion, so you're not going to have siege tanks as fast as you could normally.
Very true.
So that means I can pressure the front with my Zerglings. So we'll see if he decides to do that. He may just decide to stay defensive with it as well. Infestation Pit on the way at the same time. Looks like Alive just wants to go Marine Medevac this game.
Yeah, and could possibly work out for him. He's got a second factory being added to the mix as well. So we are going to eventually move into some sort of tech, though we'll find out what that's going to be.
Actually, does he have a second factory? I think
should be.
Just one. Yeah, he's just got 6 barracks in the second
No,
factory.
he's got a second factory.
Does he?
Yeah, it's down at the bottom right underneath the starport.
All right.
Aha! Victory.
It's
I'm
just
blind.
sad how long
I
it took me to
apologize.
find that.
Yeah.
No, I should have known. But 6 barracks on the way. So what we're going to see here is a very SC style TVZ. But yeah, forget that. There is a Hellion drop in the main of Stephano. Is it going to do any damage?
It could very well. All the drones are already running away, and the medevac picks right back up, but not before forcing those drones off for a little while. Roaches are actually making their way over to Alive's third, though.
Interesting choice there. I mean, he knows he can pressure those Hellions. Wow, Alive actually decided to drop the Hellions off just to kind of buy some time to get the SCVs away. Yeah.
But there's a bunch of Lings making their way down for Stephano as well.
Yep. And here are all the Lings, but the command center has been lifted, so we'll see if Stephano does want to pressure the main. He can break down the supply depots with the Roaches and run in with the Lings. Could be very difficult for Alive to stop.
Yeah, Alive just doesn't have that many attack units on the ground right now. Only 15 Marines in total. Here comes Stephano. He's going to try and bust his way right through the bunker, but Alive holds very well with that repair.
Yeah, he did not attack the supply depots at all. A little bit of a, I mean, he could have tried.
Kind of wondering about that, yeah.
Well, I mean, the bunker is good to get rid of, but in this situation, it's usually easier even, to keep the Roaches on the low ground, run the Lings up, and then take out a supply depot, then run the Lings in and kill the SCVs repairing. But it was close.
Alive making another drop, though, as Stephano goes to the gold at the same time. Here comes Alive, and he's going to take down the Queen right away, and a bunch of drones are going to fall. He also picks up on the tech to Hive at the same time.
Yeah, getting some nice scouting with that as well. And these Marines are just chilling out, man. Waiting for the Lings to get there, and yep, there they go.
Wow, lost 1 Marine and took out 1,000,000 units in the process. Let's actually take a look at the workers killed. Killed 3 workers, killed a Queen, got a full scout on the tech, saw the timing on Hive in addition, so doing a very, very nice job.
Yeah, not that bad at all. What I was going to say earlier is that we're going to see a very SC style Terran versus Zerg. SC, a player that used to be on FOU and FXO, now he's on MVP, but just as a very, very, very Marine heavy Terran versus Zerg style. He adds in tanks as well. We can see him getting siege mode, but so it's a little bit different than the Marine King, Marine only TVZ style. But it's very strong, very hard to stop.
And you know what? When you haven't seen a Baneling Nest this entire time, you might as well just keep going with it, honestly. So
look at that. Really fast adrenal glands by Stephano. That is something that I don't think I've ever seen before.
Committing over to Lings all the way, it looks like.
Yeah, just very Ling
Viking
heavy.
has managed to kill a random Overlord that was sitting in the middle of the map. And there we go. The swarm of Lings makes its way down, picks off a couple errant Marines, but then has to run away, so won't be able to engage that huge pack straight up.
Well, you know, going big time Infestor Ling is not bad at all. I mean, if you keep your Infestors alive, you can always add some Roaches on there as well. But yeah, just maximizing on the Lings right now. He's got 116 Zerglings right now.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous.
Crap.
Another 36 coming up as well.
Yeah.
Whoa! That's already up to 150, and it looks like
That
he's going to swing into the third here, but this is a pretty good engagement for Alive. Those Zerglings are just running through a little choke point that was imposed by the next command center that was coming up. Well, he still does kill a few units, though.
That's the thing, though, is it's going to be tough to go very Ling heavy against very Marine heavy, you know?
He just lost 60 Lings, I mean, and didn't really kill all that much.
He can reproduce them quickly, but you're right. I mean, he's taking a gold, though, now, so he's going to be able to get a lot of minerals, produce a lot of Lings if he decides to stick with it. We'll see if he does, but Alive's style right now with the amount of Marines he has is going to be very good. And look at that, the Marines already 2-2, so he's really kind of plugging away at those upgrades as well.
Yeah, certainly. And Alive going to make his way over to the top right-hand corner with another drop. He also has a drop coming in at the gold at the same time, going to do two at once, takes out a couple of drones, forces all the units away, but Stephano was actually on top of the drop into the main as well, and Alive has to pick both those up.
Yeah, the Lings for Stephano are also 2-2, and they have those adrenal glands, so they attack 20% faster.
Here we go. Alive's just going to make his way right in, though. There's only a couple of spine crawlers up, and it looks like Stephano's actually going after the counterattack, but there's already a few Marines in place. So we are not quite in base trade situation, but a lot of damage being done with these Lings, and it looks like they will be able to cut off a few reinforcements for the time being, but Alive looks like he's stabilizing back at home. He keeps his third up, but this huge pack of Marines is still bearing down on
It's the
Stephano's
natural of Stephano. Yeah, that is a lot of Marines. This is about that time where you're like, maybe I should have made some Banelings. Yeah, they need him right now, but this heavy Ling, this is such a weird game, actually. I've never seen mass Marine against mass Zergling before, but just as kind of what we expected. You can see Alive kind of splitting his Marines. He's like, all right, there's got to be Banelings around here somewhere, but nope, we've got nothing to worry about, Alive.
Yeah.
Carry on.
And that next base is about to go down. The siege tanks finally finish off the gold as well. Stephano trying to expand over to the 9 o'clock position, but that may be a case of too little too late, as Alive is healing up all these Marines, takes down the natural at the same time, and is going to start pressing the main.
Yeah, huge amounts of Lings are just never going to be able to take on huge amounts of Marines head on. It's just not going to work. I mean, it's a matter of composition here. There it is. GG. And TSL Alive 2-0 against Millennium Stephano. Wow.
Super impressive, and he takes a commanding 2-0 lead in his pool. So he's got Huck and Stephano at 1-1. He's well poised to at least take one of the prizes, if not outright win the group.
Well, you can kind of see what Stephano was planning in that game. He's like,